We have been trying to get our food storage up, and slowly but surely it's coming along. But I have a bunch of stuff that I need to not preserve, but put in better containers for later. So in case water gets in them or whatnot, that they will still be safe and that we can be able to eat them. We have a bunch of wild rice here. This was just kind of bought as a test to see if this wild rice was the Lundberg wild rice. And so far it seems to be proving good. So if we like this, then we will buy a lot more of it. Then we have some cocoa, which we don't really use a lot, but I'm gonna still put it in a mason jar. And then we have 25 pounds worth of salt that I need to put in something else. I have 50 pounds of pinto beans that I'm gonna make some refried beans, as well as just putting it in a 5-gallon bucket to save it for later with a gamma lid on, because gamma lids are like the best. If you don't know what a gamma lid is, this is a gamma lid. It goes on top of a 5-gallon bucket. You have to push it on pretty hard, but it's way better than putting on and taking off those 5-gallon bucket lids all the time. And so you just put this part on the bucket, and then this part twists on and off every time, and it saves your hands from having to open it all the time. And then we have down here, we have 5 gallons worth of honey, because I use honey all the time. So we're going to put them in glass jars. I bought a bunch of glass jars a couple of days ago. I have quarts, and then I also have half gallons that I think I might put the majority of them in half gallons, because I do use it so often for bread. And I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to get that much honey into all these things. It's going to be a sticky mess, but I think it'll be worth it, because there's no way that every time I want to use honey, I'm going to open that thing. So I got to figure out a way to preserve all of this in a way that will be easy and convenient for use, because if it's not easy and convenient, I'm not going to use it. So I think we'll start on the little stuff and then work our way up. I decided to do the hardest thing first, because I wanted to just be done with it. So I decided to do the honey, because I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go, but I did decide to do the glass jars. I was reading on it a bit, and I think the glass jars are better for long-term use. I know that there is a risk of like these dropping, and if they do drop, all the honey will be bad, because if glass gets in it, anyways, that would just be a huge mess. But I'm just gonna risk it, and I'm just gonna put them in this, because I think it will be better. Like, I'll be able to use this a lot easier than something else. Anyways, I just opened this. Oh my heavens, the smell. It smells like you're in like a scone store or something. Like you just made fresh scones. I think I'm just gonna go with this measuring cup, and we'll see. I've never had this much honey before, but this will be awesome. Whoa. I'm gonna have to like... yeah. Ah! Just doesn't stop. Okay. We're gonna try to not make as much of a mess as possible.
In the back of my mind, I've always thought that we've had about 3 months worth of food storage, and it wasn't ever planned or anything like that. But we do have a little pantry where, it, if needed, we could have meals for about 3 months. They wouldn't be glamorous meals by any means, but but we would be able to eat if there was a situation. And so just recently we decided that we wanted to ramp that up a bit to a year, but that's really overwhelming all at one time. And so I decided probably the first thing that I wanted to stock up on was the makings for bread, and then also beans and rice because that makes a complete protein. So we got this honey from a local beekeeper, and it was a lot cheaper in this 5-gallon bucket, which I would totally buy again. I would just have to prepare for the mess that this makes and the time commitment. It is not, look how slow that is flowing out of that cup. I did see that he had buckets that had spouts on the end. I don't know if he sells those. Whatever they were worth, I would have paid for them though. But this does make a mess. And after each jar, I just kind of cleaned up the area so that it wasn't continuing to make a bigger mess. But it was labor intensive and it just took a lot of time, which is okay. But I just wasn't necessarily prepared for it this day, and so I was trying to get this done in between other things, and so I just had to stop after these 2 jars because I had kids to take places and dinner to make and stuff like that. And so later on another day, I actually finished this project when it was a time that I didn't have to do it. And so if you were going to do this, I would
Woo, finally.
plan an hour or two to just sit and watch a show
Okay, that's
and
on.
just prepare to get a little
Baby
sticky.
was not fond of that. Woo-wee. Okay, so that is pinto beans. So soft. It's kind of fun to play with, huh? Okay, so this bag of pinto beans will probably last us a long time. Ooh, I'm sitting on the phone. This bag, okay, that's enough. This 50 pounds of pinto beans will probably last us a good while. So I'm going to it fit probably 30 pounds, I'd say. Okay, let go. And then I'm gonna put the rest in Mylar bags because, can you help me twist? Oh, maybe we put too much.
Yeah.
I think it's just fine. Okay, so here's about 30 pounds in here, and then we're gonna put the rest in Mylar bags for longer term storage. Okay, I'm not quite done with this honey yet, but I have other things I need to be doing. So I'm going to put this wild rice in one of these 1/2-gallon jars. I should do this somehow else. And with the cocoa that I just bought, this should last me a whole year. I don't use cocoa very frequently unless we're making no bakes, which my son did ask to make. I'm going to refill this, but I'm going to put the oldest stuff on the top. So I've been really liking glass jars lately, just because I can reuse them for so many other things once I'm done. Oh, it would help if I took out the measuring cup. Abort. I like Winco because you can get bulk items for cheaper, but I don't like that you have to like put them in something else all the time. You can't easily store it in the container it comes in. Okay, pretty good on Coke though. I got this 25 pound bag of salt because salt can be used for so many things. But I know that this will take us longer than a year to go through. So I got a 2-gallon bucket that has a gamma lid on it so that I can just access it whenever I need to. And then whatever is left over, I'm just gonna put in Mylar bags because Mylar bags keeps things for forever till whenever I need them. So this will last us a very long time, I'm pretty sure. And so I just gotta package that up too. And I am so grateful that I'm doing this because it has been on my counters and whatnot for a long time. Well, a long time being like 3 days, but it has been taking over our kitchen. So I'm grateful that I'm getting this done now. Oh yeah. That's how it's supposed to work. I love when these actually work out. But you pull one of these strings and the whole thing just comes off. I don't know why on the pinto beans it wasn't working, but here we are. So this might fit almost all of it. And I'll just put the rest in a Mylar bag. Ow. Oh. Mother of pearl. Okay. I know I have said this before, but if you have access to a freeze dryer, you need to be freezing broth. It is so easy, and it saves so much space. Can you imagine? Okay, so this is probably like, I don't know, this could totally fit in one Ziploc bag, but it was bigger and then I squished it up so that it could be like horrible. But this was 8 quarts worth of broth, and now it fits into these probably 1 gallon Ziploc bag. And I'm just gonna put it in some mason jars, and so that I can just sprinkle it in stuff. And this is turkey broth. It's from the turkey carcass from Thanksgiving, and I did it just how I did my rotisserie chickens. Just put the carcass in the roaster pan, and then fill it up with water, add whatever veggies you want, salt and pepper, and then you just leave it overnight. For this one, I left it over 2 nights because I totally forgot, and it was just fine. And now you have turkey stock. So you can use that interchangeable with chicken stock pretty much. It'll taste the same. And so I'm going to put that in some mason jars so that I can also have that for on my shelf too. Okay, I was going to put this turkey stock inside of mason jars, but I just realized that I already have some chicken stock in a mason jar in my cupboard, and so I decided I'm going to actually put it in Mylar bags. This brand Wallaby, these Mylar bags are phenomenal. The only bad part about it is that you really do need an impulse sealer in order to do this, but if you're worried about food preservation and stuff like that, it's a really great investment. I honestly don't remember how much it was, but I bought mine on Amazon. Mine's a 12-inch, which is perfect for these bags. And this one comes in all different sizes. This is a gallon, a quart, and a pint, I believe. But I like the gallon bags for flour and stuff that I go through a lot. I like the quart ones for like more meal type of things, and then these smaller ones I like for like freeze-dried fruits and stuff like that that you're not going to be consuming a bunch of, because if you open them you don't really want to have to seal them back again. So I'm going to put these in a quart Mylar bag, because once I open it up I'll probably just put it in a quart jar so that I can easily pour it out. So we'll go ahead and put this freeze-dried chicken stock in some Mylar bags. Okay, those 2 Ziploc bags, about 1 gallon, fit in this 1 gallon Mylar bag. I could have put more in there, but in order for it to be most effective, you need to put in these oxygen absorbers. Extends the life. You need to be careful though, you have to reseal this. I just go make sure that this line, it has touched everything.
If you notice here in a few seconds that I am pouring salt all over the floor, you are correct, because there's salt coming out of the bottom of the bag that I had no idea about. Anyways, if you do notice that I am using the Harvest Right Mylar bags, that's correct, because I opened up my Wallaby big storage bag and it only had these Harvest Right ones in it. It only had the Harvest Right ones in them, so that's what I'm using, because that's what I had at the moment. I don't prefer these. I prefer the gusseted bottom Wallaby bags, because when I'm filling them up, they can stand up on their own a little bit easier. But these Harvest Right ones are just fine. Some people prefer them because they lay a little bit more flat when you're storing them, but that doesn't matter too much to me. When I am done filling these up, I have a tote underneath my stairs, and I put them all in the tote underneath my stairs for easy storage. They're kind of out of sight, out of mind, and so I don't plan on using these anytime soon. They're for long-term storage, and so I just put them all in the same thing. But I do wish that there was an easier way to like tell what they were, because I'm not going to be inspired to make a meal with them or anything because I can't see what's in them, so that's kind of hard. But I hope that you guys were inspired to get your own food storage in order, and that you do what your family will like. There's no reason to have things in your food storage that your family won't eat, because if they won't eat them, they won't eat them and they will go to waste. So just grab things that you think your family will use, and then just grab an extra one when you're at the store or
You're never
something
gonna
like that.
pick that
And
up,
that's
babe.
the easiest way to get started on food storage. Thanks for coming to share your time with me. And if you would like and subscribe, that would be great. And if you find this helpful, then you could share it with a friend if you find that it would be helpful for them too.